funny, I actually have this labeled as God Awful Transformers theme on my iPod. Pretty appropriate. But hey everybody, welcome back to Sticky Floor Friday, the internet movie show that will be listening to Michael Jackson music all weekend. Pretty crazy, tragic story. It's amazing that Michael Jackson left us with like 5 different personas for us to remember him by. Obviously, I choose to remember the Thriller era Michael Jackson. That's the one I grew up with. And just unbelievably talented, amazing music, but tragic, terrible story. Why don't we get to the movie coming out this week? It is Transformers 2, Legends of the Fall. No. Revenge of the Sith. No. Revenge of the Nerds. That's more appropriate. Revenge of the Fallen. Doesn't matter. New Transformers movie. And this is actually the second time that Michael Bay has done a sequel to one of his movies. The first one, of course, being Bad Boys 2. And with good reason. Pretty much at the end of all of his movies, everything has already exploded and there's nothing to sequelize. But here we are, Transformers 2, and I have mixed feelings about this movie. I kind of like the first one. I even went out and I bought the Optimus Prime toy. But I feel like the first movie is a lot like this toy, which you can cross his legs. It's weird. But like, it's really confusing. This is supposed to be Optimus Prime, really? He turns into like a meteor, but it's like, how the hell do you work this thing? You need instructions, and it doesn't even... I mean, there. Like, that's it. So, you know, the first one, way too long, action scenes were confusing, and all the robots were a little too similar. It's like, there wasn't anything to really distinguish them. But a lot of people do like Transformers, the original, and so if you like that, you're gonna go see this. Just expect much more of the same. I can really only compare this movie to Bad Boys 2, which was kind of the epitome of gratuitous and bloated, excessive filmmaking. Just unbelievably unnecessary, and so just stuffed and over the top with ridiculous stuff that you didn't even need to see. But there it is. And I mean, at least with this movie, it's going to be giant robots banging into each other. It's going to be confusing, thrilling action, but you're not really going to know what's happening. And it's going to have hot girls bending over stuff, which, you know, I'm all for. So I'm going to give this a matinee recommendation, only because I know I'm going to see it. I'm probably going to see it on IMAX. And, you know, if you're going to see this movie, you should probably see it on the big screen. But just, God, be prepared. Your mind doesn't so much turn off when you watch these movies as disintegrates into mush. Alright, let's recap. I'm reluctantly recommending Transformers. You know what? Just walk out after the first hour and a half. You'll probably be good at that point. Or just watch the original animated movie. It's pretty awesome, and I just remember as a kid when I saw this in the theater being so shocked that the word shit was used. And it's funny because even in the chapter breakdown, Chapter 11 is titled Swear Word.
Oh shit, what are we gonna do now?